Hey guys, technically to you guys this video might be on time, but this video set me back at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks max. Technically I was supposed to be done this recording 3 weeks ago, yeah, but I think I had to learn a lot and I'm still learning on this topic, which is communication. And I believe communication could go multiple ways because we all communicate differently and we all understand things differently. And one thing I want to say in the beginning of this video before I continue to talk about communication is that don't be afraid to communicate your vulnerability. Don't be afraid to understand your vulnerability because I believe you have to understand it first before you communicate. And how do you understand it? I tell people journal. Be in your feelings, understanding why you feel in a certain way, process it. Because if you don't process it, how are you going to explain it? And we shouldn't expect people should know what we're thinking. That I think that is the miscommunication throughout everyone. We automatically assume what other people think, and then we expect people to assume what we think. You see what I'm saying? But we all wrong, and not everyone thinks the same way. Not everyone act the same way, because if we did, this world would be boring. And honestly, it is what it is. But I feel like if we more communication, less controversy will happen, less drama, less anxiety, less depression in our world if we communicate better. Understanding when you communicate your vulnerability, they might assume a lot of things. Trust me, I know. It's like communication, when you're communicating about who you are, it's hard because people judge and it's difficult to be who you are, it's difficult to be yourself because you're afraid of what people may think. So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys how to communicate with each person in your life, whether it's your family members, your significant other, your coworker, a stranger on the street, and stuff like that. Because I think communication is one of the biggest life lessons in life, how we communicate to others, and as well how we can tell people how to communicate to us. Now, mind you, the examples I'm going to give how people can communicate to you, to yourselves, is basically on my experience. But I'll be vague as possible, but communicating to others, you have to figure out your own way. That's why this video is going to be more vague, because at the end of the day, everyone is different. But I'll give you some knowledge and some things that may help you communicate even better. And understand your vulnerability side. Understand, hey, why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Like, I recommend people see a therapist to understand their past trauma, their triggers, because once you understand your triggers, you understand your vulnerability, you understand how to communicate that. Because at the end of the day, your vulnerability should be your weakness, your vulnerability should be your strength. To show who you are and what you are. And at the end of the day, it's like a phoenix. Like, I use that example all the time, and I feel like your vulnerability is your superpower. And I don't know if you guys watch X-Men, but Jean Grey or any other superhero movie is usually the person who's afraid of their superpower because they don't know how to control it. So it becomes their weakness. If you don't know how to control your vulnerability, it will become your weakness. If you don't know how to understand it, how to strengthen it, it will become your weakness. Now, once you understand it, and once you know who you are and how to use your vulnerability, then you become a rising phoenix and because whatever, destroy the world if you want. No, but you know, I'm thinking of Jean Grey and how the X-Men story is she keeps destroying the world, but honestly, to tell the truth, she become a huge superpower, and I think Jean Grey is like the shit. Like, the phoenix means rebirth. That's why I have a rebirth tattoo. If anybody's seen my Instagram photos, or I'm showing it off. Like, the wings is rebirth. It's showing you who you actually are. Vulnerability, once you understand your vulnerability, you become a different human being. You become more yourself. You create boundaries in yourself, boundaries that help you succeed in life. And boundaries are very important, because I believe I'm going to be talking about boundaries after this video, and which is going to be posted next week. Boundaries are very extremely important, especially when you want to succeed in life, when you want a better life. You got to understand your boundaries. And we have boundaries because based on past life, based on past traumatic experiences, based on our childhood experience, and it's okay. Sometimes I feel like we're afraid of our past because we don't want to become it or become that person, but our past made us who we are. So we shouldn't be afraid of it, we should embrace it. So at the end of the day, vulnerability is very important and communication is very important. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about introverts, extroverts, communicating with your partner, communicate with coworkers, and understanding your boundaries and understanding how to communicate those boundaries. We're not gonna go in depth on boundaries though, because that'll be the next video, but we're gonna have that conversation because I think this conversation is well needed. All right, keep watching. Hey, what's up, everyone? I am your coach, Yves Fred at yvesfred.com, founder and CEO of Soliciting-Love Foundation at soliciting-love.org. All right, communication. Communicating your vulnerability. Let's discuss what vulnerable is. Basically, is being exposed of being attacked or harmed, whether it's physically or emotionally. Well, physically, I can't help with that unless I'm with you. let's be honest. Unless I'm with you physically, I can't help you. But emotionally, maybe I can help. And we have to learn how to control our emotions. And how to control our emotions is understanding our emotions. And I'm going to talk mostly, this part is about introverts and extroverts. I'm an introvert with an extrovert personality. Basically, what that means is like my personality, like I want to get to know you. I want to see great things about you. I want to see you do great. But the introvert in me is like, okay, for that 1 second, I'm excited for you. And then the next second, I want to be in my own bubble. I need to recharge as most possible. Like I'm to myself. I'm a little shy. I mean, it may not project in front of the camera, but I'm the shyest person. But it's okay. My personality overrides my shyness. So thank you. Thank you to myself. But nevertheless, introvert. One thing I should say, avoid sending long text messages to extrovert. Avoid that. Trust me, I've done it so many times, especially relationships, friendships, strangers, all that. You know what I mean? Avoid sending long text messages because they don't know how to process that, take that. They take it so many different ways. And when you need your space, ask for it. Because as introverts, we love our space. We enjoy our space. It's nothing against the other party. It's nothing against the opposite person that's in front of you. Nothing against your strangers, lovers, coworkers, nothing. It's all about you, and let them know, hey, I need my space. It has nothing to do with you. Let them know, hey, let me take some time for myself. Because at the end of the day, the best thing to do as an introvert is to recharge, because we need it. To handle this world, we need this. And extroverts, please allow introverts to communicate their thoughts. Leave room for long pauses. Let them process it. Give them time to process information. And honestly, like for extroverts in the workplace, send out memos. Send out like things like, okay, to help other introverts to prepare. Because some of us are shy. Some of us need about 10 minutes to like prepare. You know what I mean? To prepare, understand what we're going to say, because most of us, not all introverts, but most of us suffer from imposter syndrome. We want to be perfect. We want to be not perfect, but we want to do our best. We want to make sure everything is right, what's perfect to us. Maybe not what's perfect to everyone else, but what's perfect to us. So extroverts, be patient with introverts, because I understand that extroverts, hey, they want let's go. They want to have fun. They want to do this. It's very exciting. But introverts are more calmer. Some of us. Because I'm an I personality, but I get my shy ways. I like to sit back and just watch. And I just like being silent. Even though a lot of my friends say I talk too much, I'm a bit loquacious. But my personality really is just being quiet and observing and listening. And it's a comfortability level for us. And introverts, they like to communicate. They like to talk. They want to know what's going on. They want to And it's like for introverts, it's like relax, calm down. I'm just saying hi, and that's it. Period. You know what I mean? But it's difficult, especially when you want to communicate your vulnerability from an introvert to an extrovert. Introvert, I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't be so specific unless they're your partner and you having that face-to-face conversation. Don't be specific because they might scare the extrovert away because they don't know how to process that or they think it's deeper than it is. So with that being said, I'm not gonna say introverts, how you call it, fall back or slow down or speed up. I'm just saying communicate your speed, communicate who you are, especially in relationships. Understand like if you're an introvert dating an extrovert, extroverts want to communicate all the time, want to see what's going on, what's this and that and third. And introverts is like, okay, you can text me. You know what I mean? I'll respond. An extrovert with a FaceTime or call. Trust me, I'm dating an extrovert, so I understand. And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? But it's a level of understanding. I won't say compromise because don't ever compromise who you are. But I will say understand where the person's come from and find a middle ground. You know what I mean? Especially if you adore that person, if you love that person, if you appreciate that person, if you respect that person. Understand that hey, they might need a little bit more and see what you can give. Never be afraid to step out your comfort level. Introverts. Okay, extroverts. If you're dating an introvert, be patient and understand that what you expect may not happen. If that makes sense, just understand that hey, be patient and understand, communicate that hey, you want to communicate more. You feel like you're not getting communication, and if they are introverts, be patient. Understand that hey, they might text you more than they call you, but you gotta be willing to be understanding as well. At least you're getting what you need, and tell them, hey, if you cannot call every single day, at least call me before you go to sleep. That's what we do. Before we go to sleep, we call each other. But if that's too much for an introvert, then call every other week. I mean, every other week. Excuse me. Call every other day. You know what I mean? Make sure you guys understanding that communication level, what's best for you and what's best for them. Come into an understanding. And honestly, when it comes to family members, introverts, we could be MIA, we could be ghosts. Doesn't mean we don't have love for them. It's just we're focusing on us. We're focusing on what's going on now. And extroverts want to know, hey, you're good, hey, you're okay, hey, what's up with you, how's everything? And they could be a little assuming that you either A, antisocial, or you just don't F with them. Speaking from a language that you just don't F with them, it is not necessarily that. Extroverts, please understand your introverts, especially in family members, please understand that, hey, that person may be a vibe, but you caught them at the wrong moment, wrong time. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everything is about right time, right moment. And when it comes to introverts and extroverts, if it's not the right time, it might not click at that day, at that moment. But it could be like 3 hours later, you guys are clicking. And if this video that I said or anything that I've said seems confusing, please comment below. Let me know if you want me to explain in detail. But when it comes to introverted extroverts and in between, it's all about the level of communication. Being vulnerable, being honest with your feelings. And I don't know if Babe wants me to talk about this, but I remember when we first had our communication issue and they wanted me, well, I was less communicative and they wanted me to be more, and I wasn't used to it, but I liked it. And I remember telling them, hey, it's not annoying. It's like the right person, you can't do nothing wrong with the right person. And when I mean wrong, I meant annoying and stuff like that. Not like cheating or infidelity or anything of that sort of nature. But with the right person, you can't do nothing wrong. So be yourself. Explain your vulnerabilities. Like when it comes to with your partners in a relationship, be at a 10. And when it comes to like with strangers, be at a 4 or 5. Like when it comes to strangers, I think people should communicate the vulnerability and as in if they too close to you, hey, you know what I mean? Step back a little bit. And if they're not getting that, communicate that, hey, I need some space, is not between you guys. These space is not personal. But with strangers, when you're communicating your vulnerable side, try not to try to be less angry, less mad, less upset, because at the end of the day, we don't. You're strangers, so you don't really know each other, and we don't. In this world, you don't know who you up against. When I mean that way, there's a lot of hurt people out there. So hurt people hurt people. So be careful. You never know. So at the end of the day, when it comes to your peace and your boundaries, understand it. And when it's learn to like walk away. Learn to if sometimes you don't want to communicate those vulnerabilities, especially to a stranger, telling them, hey, honestly, I feel like this is wrong and such and such. So when it comes to vulnerability, trust your instincts, trust your gut. Honestly, for strangers, the less you say, the better it is. Walk away. See if you could walk away, and I don't mean in the sense of like walking away, literally. It could be also figuratively as well. Just learn to trust your gut, and sometimes it's not worth explaining your vulnerability when it comes to strangers. Now, when it comes to coworkers,